Hello everyone, Jacquie Edwards here for Live at Lunchtime. Thank you so much for joining me again today. Yeah, I'm in my car at the moment. For those of you that watch regularly, you know Thursday is my rest day. So I'm actually just getting to the spa so I can go and relax in the jacuzzi and stuff for a little bit. But before then, I wanted to share a little bit with you. So, I get this quite a bit. So you'll have seen from the title that I'm going to talk about numbers game. And this is really relevant in your rent to rent business and really in pretty much every business out there. Um, your product, your service is not going to be right for everyone. And the goal is to find those people that it is right for. And to do that, you first of all need to be really clear and really specific on what your service is and who you want to offer it to. And who you want to be your ideal customer. And once you're really clear on that, then you've got to go out and find them. Now, depending on your business, that's going to be easier or more difficult. So if we look at my rent-to-rent business, I basically operate in Oxford. So we're looking basically at all the houses in Oxford. Now, there are quite a lot of houses in Oxford. Then we have to narrow down my customer to HMO landlords, because with rent to rent in Oxford, we've got Article 4 and additional HMO licensing. So ideally, I need to be starting with a property that's already an HMO. So if I look at the HMO list, there's 3,000 people on it. So that is kind of my base number for my customer base is about 3,000. It's kind of 2,000 to 3,000 people. So right there, I've already narrowed my number down, and I've got quite a finite number of 2,000 to 3,000. Now that 2,000 to 3,000 people are the people that I really need to target consistently and with the right message to find the ones that are looking for the service that I can offer. So basically to find the ones that have the problem that I can solve. And it's not going to be anywhere near the full 2,000 to 3,000 of those landlords. Most of them don't have the problem that I can solve. I can definitely make their life a lot easier, but they probably don't have a problem. They're already using a letting agent that they're happy with. They're already managing it themselves and are happy to do so. So my job is to find the ones that are having a problem. But in order to do that, I need to get out there to all of them and basically get out to as many people as absolutely possible. And I need to do it consistently with a strong message. So I see a lot of people that do this. They get the list of licensed HMOs from the council. They send them a letter, and then they tell me, oh, it didn't work. Or they send 2 letters and it didn't work, and they give up. It's great. You might get a couple of responses from the first round of letters that you sent. You might not. You might get a couple from the second round of letters. You might not. It can take a while. There is so much marketing material out there for everybody, but specifically targeted at landlords. You know, letting agents are constantly sending out flyers, leaflets, letters. Estate agents are constantly sending that information out as well. Plus there's other rent-to-renters. This isn't a secret. Every kind of training course tells you get the list of licensed HMOs and send them a letter. So you're not the only one doing it. So they've got all of that information in front of them, all of those different people. So you need to try to make yours stand out, make sure your message is strong and clear, and you're telling them what their problem is and how you can solve it. And you just have to be consistent. So there's research that shows that, you need 5 to 7 touch points before somebody's going to trust your brand or remember your name. So if you've just sent 1 letter and that's the only time they've seen you, they're not going to remember who you are. They're not going to know the difference between you and the last person that sent them a letter, or you and the letting agent that sent them a flyer. I did have people respond and say, oh, you're always sending me flyers, and that was probably after the first letter I had sent them, but that's because she was getting letters from other people, from other agents. So they're not going to know you from everybody else just after that first 1 or 2 letters. So it's really important to be consistent and make sure that you're building up your brand and building up a rapport and a relationship with these people, even if it is just through mailings and letters. And if you're not sending those letters, if you're not getting out to all 2,000 of those people, or however many are in your area, somebody else is doing it and you'll never get their business. So you need to be reaching as many people as possible to find those couple that it works for. So if we look at my business now, we're 2.5 years, almost 3 years into my rent-to-rent business. We've got 18 properties in Oxford that we manage happily on our rent-to-rent basis. These, so that's 18 out of 3,000 licensed HMOs in Oxford. That brings us almost 200,000 pounds of profit every year. So we're quite happy with that number. We were happy when we had 10 and that was bringing us in 100,000 pounds of revenue per year, or profit per year. So you don't need to have hundreds and hundreds of properties, so you don't need all of them to become a customer, but you do need to go through the ones that aren't right. So I had loads of people call me from my letter. Maybe not loads, but I had quite a few people call me from my letter, and they're just looking, price fishing, doing whatever. So their main question was, how much can you offer me? Those people didn't really have a problem, because I would say, 5-bedroom house, we can offer approximately this much money. And they would say, well, I'm already getting double that. And I'd say, well, you're doing a great job then. We also do all of the management. We take care of all the maintenance. You won't ever get any phone calls. And they're like, well, I've already got an agent managing it and I never have any problems. That person doesn't have any issues. I can't really I can't really offer them any better than they've already got. So that's fine. They're not the ideal customer for me, but now I can mark them off my list and send my letter to other people. So it's really important to go through that process. It does take time. Building a business doesn't happen overnight. You might hear all these amazing success stories from, property investors if you're going to networking meetings, or just general businesses. So you see your success of things like Airbnb and Uber. Yes, those sound like overnight successes, but if you look back into their history, those businesses weren't just built in a night, in a month, in 2 months, in a year even. It's taken them a long time to get to the place where they're at now. So you need to recognize that in your business. You need to get out there. You need to do the groundwork and do the business. You need to find the people. You need to perfect your message, understand your service and what you're offering to people. And you need to get out there and get in front of as many people as possible so you can find the ones that are going to be your customers that have the problem that you can solve. So hopefully that's been helpful. I feel like I was a bit preachy there. I get a bit upset on this topic because so many people give up so early and they don't keep pushing through, and they think, oh, I've talked to 5 people, none of them wanted it, it didn't work. Whereas, yes, it wasn't right for those 5 people, but it is going to be right for somebody. You need to just keep going, because if it wasn't, there wouldn't be anybody doing rent to rent, and there are loads of people being very, very successful with rent to rent. And those are the people that are putting the time in, they're putting their effort in. It isn't just happening overnight for them. So go out there with your business, whatever it is, and put in the time, put in the effort, put in the basics to building up your business. Understand who your customer is, what your problem is that you're solving, and how to explain to them how you're solving it. And get out there in front of as many people as possible, and they'll start coming to you and it'll start working. So with that, I'm going to go to the spa now. So have a wonderful day, and I'll see you again tomorrow.